Alright, I think it's time that I look at some more quality stuff. Uh, I hate the cold weather so much. This is my Simplicity Century 3 model 7300. Uh, I found this a couple of months ago, with the bag of tools that it comes with next to it, which had a few extra goodies like children's slippers, a crystal bowl, and a fuller brush floor head, which was kind of interesting. Um, so the thing that was wrong with this was the belt was broken, and I think that was it. I think it was also clogged, maybe, but I think that was just about it. The motor bearings were dry, of course, so I washed them out and replaced them with slightly better ones, because the ones in it ended up going out. And runs pretty good. This was the first vacuum where I tried the bearing grease that I use, which is this stuff called Super Lube. I used it on this brush roll, and all the bearings on the brush roll are smooth as ever. And the motor bearings are that way too, which is nice. It was also covered in like a layer of dust, so it was a lot grayer than it was. Surprisingly, it came with a pack of bags in the sack that had all the stuff, like attachments in it, and it had this HEPA bag on the inside already installed, which is nice, considering that the exhaust filters are just two foam pads pretty much, which is still not bad. I mean, they do their job, but they still work pretty good, which is nice, considering that this is the only thing really stopping all the carbon dust, and because it has a HEPA bag in it, not a lot of stuff's getting through, which is good to know, because I have allergies, and this is which is kind of why I made the switch from bagless machines to bagged machines with HEPA bags, because I have allergies and bagless was not cutting it. This is the model with the twin fan motor. It says it has 5-stage filtration or air sentry microfiltration, motor sound suppression, which is absolutely true. This thing is very quiet and I like it. Carpet and floor selector, which does work. The brush was not worn to shreds, so that's good to know. And the Duratec pivot points, which I think you can still buy the pivot points for these, but I'm not entirely sure. This model is based off of the Riccar 8850 lineups, which I think was the first vacuum to have this style, but I'm not sure. I'm not the big Riccar expert. Some of these gray parts have gotten fragile over the years or are broken off, but a little bit of super glue fixed those up. You got your little clean out and or hose port, which still opens and closes, so good to know. And it's very easy to take apart, which is nice because these were sub $500 machines, and usually $500 machines you'll find nowadays. You can't even access the brush roll without having to tear the entire floor head apart. One more stuff about this. This is what I use to really vacuum my basement. The high airflow and suction rate plus the awesome metal brush roll in it is a good thing to have when you have carpets, which really helps it deep clean. And it filters really good. And I can't really say that much about it because there are a lot of videos on it already. Both of the headlights came like that, which is nice, so I didn't have to splurge on any bulbs or anything. The check bag indicator works, although it seems to go off whenever I'm using the tools on this. But since I mainly use it as a floor vac, it doesn't really matter. So yeah, here's a little demo of it. Another way you can tell that it's actually working properly is you can feel the carpet around you vibrating, which tells me that the bristle strips are still in good shape on this, even though they might be a bit shorter, but I'm not sure. I don't think I need to measure them because it still does a fantastic job. Anything else I need to say about this? Now, it seems relatively strange that Riccar and Tandem Taconi just seem to stop with this design, which, even though the Tandem air systems are a heck of a lot better deep cleaners than this. In fact, they're probably some of the best deep cleaners out there. This is still like a very good design, and it sucks that simplicity sort of went the way of cheaper Taconi designs instead of, going back with something like this. Which I don't even know if there is a machine available under Taconi that is this exact style. But it's relatively well built. It is a nice deep cleaner. It filters good. It's nice and quiet. Weighs about, I want to say 15, 16 pounds. It's not terribly light, but it's not heavy either. Here's a stamp. No clue how to tell dates, but I'm going to assume this is 95. Although I'm no date telling expert. Manufactured in Taiwan, which I don't know how well Taiwan made machines are built, but this thing has proven to be quite a tank. We're gonna give it a rating and then ask the question, will this have been a good choice? So in total, I'd rate it about a 9 out of 10. There doesn't seem to be a lot of things that are particularly bad about this machine. And it's probably one of the better designs that have came out of the US or the Taiwan manufacturing. It's two-stage fan, so it has a lot of power, and the metal brush roll with replaceable bristle strips, so you don't have to go out of your way to buy a new brush roll. And I think parts are still available for these exact machines, which is nice. That begs the question, if it were the 90s and you saw this, should you actually buy it? And my answer is definitely yes, especially if you don't have a lot of high ceilings and stuff. Because the hose is not stretchy, but it is a decent length, so this definitely would have been a good pick, especially if you're an allergy sufferer back in the 90s. And there are replaceable parts on this, which is relatively nice. And it's just an all-around wonderful deep cleaner, so I would say go for it. Well, there you have it. The Simplicity Century 3 7300. And also, yes, this is called the Century 3, or is a part of the Century 3 lineup. It says so on the manual, so yeah. Simplicity Century 3 model 7300. Alright, I am out of here. See y'all in the next video.